So, you know what? Wow. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. That old catchphrase is just hitting me right now. I don't know if you can hear that claptrap downstairs. Probably some annoying radio program that someone's playing. But none of that matters right now. You know, this week I was planning to do my prediction videos. I was planning to talk about Cormier and Jones. I was planning on talking about, can Cormier account for the reach this time? Is he going to be too emotional? Is Jon going to be that cold, calculating fighter that we know he can be? And is Cormier going to play right into that? I had all these ideas. I was going to talk about how Cormier looked against Gustafsson. All of that goes out the window right now because I wake up this morning, I'm thinking, great, get up, go to yoga, have a stretch, have a shower, have something to eat. And then my boy Chris McGregor gives me a message. Yeah, Jones is out the card. And then I just see the link and I see there's a press conference. And I'm thinking, injury? Has he been injured? Is he okay? Something happened? And then you find out the guts of the situation and it's this. He has got a doping violation potentially on the cards. And there's not enough time to do the due process of the 6 months. He's got to be pulled from the card. So let's just touch on a few things. It will not be anything that's recreational because that's usually out of competition like cocaine or weed or something like that. It's not anything like that. It's a PED most likely. Most likely a PED, or they're going to say a tainted supplement. But this is not good. This is not good. And I always find the tainted supplement thing a bit questionable. You know, I think we've been BS'd enough times by people saying tainted supplement. But they found something in his sample. They found something, and it's a red flag that something is up and something is going on. And it is so... What a week. There's so many ways to look at this. Let's look. First of all, I feel really bad for Daniel Cormier. After all this build-up, after the first fight and losing to Jon, and how emotionally devastating that was for him to lose to him, to then come back, win the interim belt, win the title, defend it against Gustafsson, and then go through the emotions of having to pick yourself back up. I'm going to face this man that gave me my first loss and have a rematch at UFC 200. After all of that, all the talk, all the stuff that has been said between the two of them, the weight cutting, the organising the camp, the money being spent, the diet, the training, the sparring, the kind of instilling the confidence in yourself that this time you can do it, to go through all of that to find out a few days before that Jon Jones is now yanked off the card due to a wellness violation must be horrible for Daniel Cormier and his camp. And also you think about it like this, God knows how much money that's cost him. Couple million. That guy gets pay-per-view points, so I guarantee you that was a couple million that he's lost. A couple million, 4, 5, maybe 6 million? Especially now with Brock Lesnar on the show. I feel horrible for Daniel Cormier, and I saw the press conference, and the guy looked crestfallen. He looked crestfallen by it. He was just the poor guy. Secondly, the UFC. After all this stuff they've gone through in trying to put this card together for UFC 200, we've been hearing about this card for ages. I mean, last year they were saying, well, they'll get Ronda Rousey and Cyborg on the show. Then Ronda loses to Holly Holm, and then Ronda's basically not come back since. Then there was talk of Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz, and then, you know, what happened there with Conor and, the press conference and him retiring and all of that. That fell through. Then there was the talk about GSP returning. That fell through, and it's not even happened yet. No announcement's been made. All this discussion, apparently they were going to do McGregor versus St. Pierre, but the point is, there were all these fights that just fell through, and in the end they settled on having Amanda Nunes and Miesha Tate, Aldo and Edgar, and Cormier and Jones, and then the icing on the cake was Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt. And to, go through all this trouble to get this card organised, to now have it stopped, if I were UFC brass, I would not be happy. And I think Dana probably exercised great restraint in saying what he really felt about that situation. Let's just say that. Now, the UFC must see him as a liability now. Because how many times is this going to happen with Jon? And it's a real disappointment. Now we go on to the topic of the man himself, Jon Jones, who every time something happens with him, I seem to just... I always get these videos. I feel like every year I'm doing an annual Jon Jones What Has He Done Now video. It's a real black mark. Now, we don't know what the rest of the story is. Of course, there's a B sample. But the point is, how many times is he going to get himself into shit? I mean, there was the UFC 151 cancellation. I think that was more 50-50 than people realise. Then you fast forward, well, before that there was the DUI when he crashed into a tree. Then you have fucking hay fever interrupting my video. Then you have the whole cocaine incident with Jon Jones, and that time last year. Or remember how much of a black mark that put there. Then you also look into the fact that when they were doing the tests on his body's levels were very, very low, which made it look like one could believe that he was taking something to mask something he was on. So there was that situation, combined with the cocaine situation. That was a very, very dark point in that man's career. Then you go to the second car incident, the hit and run incident, and it's like, Jon, you don't need any more blackmail. How far does it have to go until he actually learns something from this? Even if it's a tainted supplement, you've got to be aware now. You can't take any risks. You know, people seem to want to get behind him. The public loves a winner. The public loves a comeback story. And it was a comeback story in Jon Jones. People seem to be behind him. People were definitely in support of him. I noticed the crowd reactions towards him versus Cormier. Very strong in support for Jones. Very, booing and cheering Cormier. People wanted Jon to do well. I wanted Jon to do well. Lots of people wanted Jon to do well. And then this happened. And it's just like all that good faith that fans have probably... that Jon has probably re-established with the fans kind of goes out the window right now. And there's this big, fat mark, asterisk right there with Jon. Because once again, he has found himself at the centre of controversy. And, wow. Everybody thought Brock Lesnar was going to be the guy to fail a test. Everyone was like, this USADA stuff is a farce, everyone. Oh, it's a joke. Brock Lesnar's not getting tested. And everyone was hanging that motherfucker out to dry. And now you see this with Jon Jones. And if it really comes out that it's a PED, that's a 2-year suspension. That's a 2-year suspension. That's if it goes that far. But at the most, probably 6 months, 2 years. Jeez. People are all ready to say it was Brock Lesnar, and we don't know. Something might happen with Brock, so I wouldn't rule that out of the realms of possibility. But the fact of the matter is, USADA is catching everyone. I noticed the change of physiques, but fuck it, USADA is catching everyone. So, wow, once again, Jon Jones at the centre of controversy. And what did the UFC do? My mate thinks they should get rid of him. And to be honest with you, I can't blame my mate for feeling like that, because the guy is becoming a liability. Well, he's a liability. He is a liability. I really hope that there is some silver lining to this. But, they've been saying that he's turned his life around, blah, blah, blah. It's almost like when a pro wrestler tells you they're clean and they're still on steroids. It's... Oh, man. I'm sure more is going to come out of this, but it looks like now our main event will be Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt. Daniel Cormier, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with Daniel Cormier? But once again, man, Jon, just what the fuck? Like, seriously, what the fuck? I want to see this guy put it together up here and go on and become one of the greatest fighters known to man. But He cannot do that if this keeps on happening. So something's got to give now. Jeez. I'm going to stop. I'm going to upload this as it is. No special thumbnail. Guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel about this card. There's this all thoughts, unfiltered. Get it all out there. Tell me what you think and feel. I'm going to go have breakfast now. Fucking hell. Take care, guys.